What is love? What is love? What is love? What is love? What is love?
Okay.
Cool. Well, now.
Ooh, that's a toughie. That's a toughie.
That's a tricky question.
Okay.
There's not one answer to that.
Love is something that is unconditional, and I think love is something that I guess is there no matter what goes wrong.
Giving my time to people who really matter and listening a lot.
Love is caring about another person and their well-being more than you're putting them above you and serving them with all that you have.
Baby, don't
Love is sacrifice.
Love is unconditional, and it is being kind to people and treating them how you would want to be treated in the best fashion possible.
Love is putting someone before yourself.
I think love is caring enough about someone, I think, to want to know more about them, how they're feeling, and like want to do good things for them. And like when you see them happy, you're happy. Yeah.
Love is, it's caring deeply for something, even despite flaws, inaccuracies, problems with that thing or person. And even though, in spite of those, still caring for it, still wanting to make it better, still wanting to defend it, still wanting to fix it and have it. And it goes back to that, like, love is patient, love is kind. Love is not going to care about, it's like, okay, I'll deal with these problems. I'm patient with these problems. Love is kind. It's not hateful towards this thing, obviously. It's love, and it's, if I love you, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to, do stuff like that.
Love is when your friend is having a really stressful day and you buy them coffee and you give them a hug so that they feel better.
I think I define love by looking at Jesus and like what he did for us. And I think it's not only like played out by words, but also like by service.
I would say probably like one of the greatest examples of love in my life was after my dad passed away. My mom took it like upon herself to raise 3 kids on a really small private school teacher salary, and that was just a really brave thing to do. And so I'd say that love is putting yourself aside and caring for others, no matter the cost or what's at stake there. I think it's just being brave and putting yourself aside for the sake of others.
I think love is just overwhelming sense of care and compassion that you have for someone. It's just this, it's a lot more than a feeling. I think that love is definitely a feeling. I think sometimes people say it's not a feeling, but I think it is a feeling. But I think more than that, it's a response to that feeling and how you treat people and how you are around people. And even if it's you love something, like you love a sport, you love a class, it's just your response to that love and what you do with it and just how you react to it. When you love someone, you're going to treat them well, you're going to be selfless towards them, you're just going to serve them out of compassion.
If I love my mom, like that means I would do anything for her. Like I love her more than like I love myself, or like the love of Christ. He loves us so much that he would do absolutely anything for us, and he did. That on the cross. So I think it's when you would choose what you love more than anything else in the world.
I think it comes in a lot of different forms. I think it comes in the form of respect for somebody else. I think it comes in the form of affection for somebody else.
Can't answer what is love. Just experience it.
I think that God is love, and love is the most powerful force in the universe, and it's the literal fabric of heaven, and it's what moves us to put others before ourselves and sacrifice, and I really think that sacrifice is a huge part of what love is, but it's what connects people and bonds people, and it's the best thing ever, and it comes from God alone, and any love that we have is just a reflection of His heart.
Confusing, complicated. I think it really depends on what kind of love you're talking about. Because if you're talking about like the way a mother loves a daughter, that's simple. That's easy to explain. But when you're one person romantically in love with another person, it's unexplainable. It's doing incredibly stupid things that you can't explain and be willing to do anything for that person, even if it means putting them above yourself.
From the mountains to the sea.
If someone does something very special for me, like if I'm struggling, like, oh man, like Brennan, my roommate, Brennan, I had a project where I was working on it, and I was trying to find like this name for this guy. I found that I had the name, I had to find out stuff about him, but it was a random dude from 1940 that I didn't know anything about, and I couldn't find it. I'm Googling him, I'm like, I can't find this guy, I don't know who he is. And I'm like, Brennan, could you help me? And he was like, yeah, no problem, I'll sit down and help you. And he helped me for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And he didn't have to do that. It was like 12 o'clock at night, and he probably wanted to go to sleep, but he sat down and helped me. And like, something like that speaks to me, because it's like, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that at all. But he, in spite of his own wants, he did something for me. And then physical touch is more just like, sometimes it's a reassuring kind of deal. Actions speak louder than words, simply, for me. And so sometimes it's a simple touch. Like, you don't have to say anything. That people, it's almost implicit, and to me, it's almost more real than just like a word. Someone saying something like, oh, I love you. Someone like holding you, putting their arm on your shoulder, and just staying there for a moment. That means more to me than just them saying that. Because I can say words. I can say words, and like everyone speaks, but like an action that, I don't know, it carries more weight to me.
I receive love, I think, by words of affirmation, which is one of the 5 love languages, and I think my second one would probably be like touch, which sounds kind of weird, but I like hugs. I'm a hugger. I like to hug people when I see them. That's how I show them love.
People do stuff for me. I don't know, accepting hugs.
Definitely my love language is words of affirmation. I don't know, I just find myself thinking about it a lot after I receive a compliment, or like someone tells me something meaningful, like they love me, like it goes a long way with me. And it doesn't go that long with like some people, but like for me it just means like that's the truth, like, and I know.
I think I receive love because like everyone around me is just so supportive and nice, and like you walk across like campus and like you see like 20 people and they say hey, and then like if you need a ride, people give you rides, and like there's just so much love and happiness here, like you never feel alone.
I'm a hugger, I think. I'd say hugging.
Okay. How do I receive love? Like, my love language is quality time. I love spending time with people. Like my roommate and I, we just hang out, or like go grocery shopping together. We don't even have to be doing anything specific. I just like spending time with you. So that's how I receive love.
I receive love one paycheck at a time. In other words, I receive it depending on my circumstances, through people, through just like whatever surrounds me and whatever's contributing to my life and the good that is in it.
That's something I'm really bad at. You have to just accept it and appreciate it. Just be thankful, I guess, is the biggest part of that. I don't know, I'm kind of bad at receiving love too, but I'd say just accept it and appreciate it for what it is, because it's kind of a rarity in this world today. So
I receive love from the friends in my life when they do something to make my day, or when family members serve me by, getting me
food or, you know, just cleaning things up for me, and also from the Lord.
Love languages. The best way that I receive love is through spending time with people and through acts of service. So when people do things for me, like, I don't know, bring me coffee when I'm having a hard day, or I guess things like that, take out the trash when it's like overflowing. But yeah, so spending time with me and doing things for me.
When someone sacrifices something for you.
I think receiving love is definitely tricky sometimes, just because you have to, I think you have to humble yourself a little bit to receive love. But I mean, like, I love being loved, so I think I receive it, you know, with like an open heart and open arms. But I definitely think it takes like a sense of humbling yourself and just knowing that it's okay for others to help you and be there for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what friends are for, that's what family's for, that's what, you know, husbands and wives are for. And obviously there's more than that, but yeah, I think receiving love is to humble yourself and just receive it with an open heart and open arms and just a joyful heart as well.
Their actions, definitely. So it's like when someone goes out of their way to show you that they love you, instead of just, because love is definitely a verb, it's an action, it's not a noun. It's something that people do. You have to work at love, and you have to sustain love. So I guess the biggest way that I would say I receive love is through people like making a intentional what's the word? Effort. Making like an intentional effort to love me.
Receive love similarly through quality time, and I love when people just take the time to notice me and show that they've been thinking about me, and yeah, just feeling known.
Demons, wishing they were free like me.
Louder than words. But I also think that different people express love in different ways, like kind of like your love language. Some people are affectionate and they like to hug and touch, and that's how they comfort someone. And I think the same goes for love. And some people are time spent, so they show love through spending time with people, whether it's getting coffee or whatever. So I think it just depends for the person, but it's whatever speaks to you, I think, is what's important for showing love.
I try to focus and like making other people happy. So like if there's ever something like need that I can try to help them feel, I'll try to. Or just honestly like seeing a smile on their face is like I think the best thing.
To me, so I do little things for people. I always have to hold the door for people, and I always say bless you and thank you and please for everything. And or like if I go to a restaurant, I always tip like a ridiculous amount, because I know there's just a little thing here and a little thing there.
Like I said earlier, like treating other people like they want to be treated. I like to figure out their love languages and kind of go off of that. Like if I know somebody's like really all about words of affirmation, I'll be like, okay, here, I'll like write you this nice letter, or like quality time or whatnot.
But I share love or show love through acts of service. So like doing things for other people, going above and beyond, I guess, in friendships, and also I'm not a very touchy person, so not physical touch, but more, I guess, spending time with others also. Same way that I receive love, I show love.
You must give up yourself for someone else to love them.
I think it has to be like a conscious decision. Like for a lot of people, it doesn't come naturally, but I think it has to be a conscious decision just to put yourself and your wants and your desires aside, to help others out, or to care for others and meet them where they're at.
It just depends on who they are. The best way I can think of when I first meet someone is just to listen to them and to kind of see who they are and what they respond to, and so that way I can find out how they want to be loved, honestly, and that really varies.
I would say I'm a pretty big acts of service. At least I think I'm an acts of service guy. I don't really know. Physical touch. If I physically touch you, that's a big thing because I don't not like because it's weird because I receive and give physical touch as my way of affirmation, but I'm not at the same time. I'm like, don't touch me, get off of me. Like I'm not like a very touchy feely guy, but that's how I receive it. I don't really know. I feel like I want to retake the test because I'm very confused about it when I got that. Actually, if I make fun of you, that's a good sign. So.
Giving my time to people who really matter and listening a lot.
By recognizing as much as I can how much more valuable others are than myself.
I'd say the biggest way that I share my love, first of all, through physical touch a lot because I grew up in a very touchy family. So we definitely we hug and I'm more the kind of person who's gonna be able to put my hand on your shoulder than talk to you about something because I just feel weird about talking. And then doing things for people, definitely. That's just something kind of natural that I felt. I feel like that's one big way that I show that I love my friends, my family, anyone who's important to me is by going out of my way to do stuff like sending a care package or making sweets or doing something that I know will make their day better.
Vice versa. You show by your actions and how you treat other people.
Sacrificing
for others. I'm definitely not a hugger. Not big on physical contact. I think through words and through being there and giving your time. Giving your time is a big one.
I try to serve other people as much as possible and trying to just do whatever I can to make them whatever they need to make them more comfortable, more relieved. Anything they need, I just want to be able to help them.
To answer the question, what is love, I went looking in the best compilation of books known to man, the Bible.
If I sing, but don't have love, I waste my
Psalms chapter 8, it says, "For love is as strong as death, its jealousy unyielding as the grave. It burns like blazing fire, like a mighty flame. Many waters cannot quench love, rivers cannot wash it away." In John chapter 13, Jesus says, "Love one another, as I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, all men will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." The commandments: do not commit adultery, do not murder, do not steal, do not covet, and whatever other commandment there may be, are summed up in this one rule: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no harm to its neighbor, therefore love is the fulfillment of the law. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy, and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor, and surrender my body to the flames, but have not love, I gain nothing. This is how God showed his love among us. He sent his only Son into the world that we might live through him. This is love. Not that we loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins. Dear friends, since God so loved us, we ought to love one another. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love.